Greetings, dear ones. This is Andrea. It is 1:06. I say this is Andrea because apparently the video background is gotten a little bit weird. So there I am back again. It is August 27th, and this is again another moment-to-moment live presentation, meaning that depending on the energetics, the subject matter can change and can have changed from its original title or its original perspective. And that certainly has been the case today. There is so much going on in relation to children, and they're going back to school, and how normally, under other circumstances, we'd have certain challenges there and certain joys and certain experiences, both the children and the parents, of course. But this year, it's a little bit different, given our current situation with COVID. And as I was in preparation for today's session, it just really strongly came through how pinched these children are, how much of a pawn they are in the school system itself. And now they're in the political arena being used or decided for, not always, or not primarily based on their highest and best benefit. And this is something children are unfortunately very used to, not only by school districts and politicians, but in their own homes. It is so easy to forget consciously what it actually feels like to be a child, and how devastating the decisions that parents make can be on a child. And that's not even having to do with large decisions. It's in the everyday. And I work with clients, and have done for many, many years, particularly focused on the very young, secure attachment patterns. And that means, those that were pretty much set in place by the time a child is about 8. And from my experience, almost everything thereafter is a replication of that same dynamic, that same pattern, that same wounding. And from the perspective of this work, that is not something that is detrimental. In other words, it is painful, yes, but it has a very, very firm, very clear, very definite and definitive soul purpose. We designed our path with those particular companions in mind that took on the roles of parents and siblings, so that there would be such a setting, because it is, pretty much like a movie script, and you received certain experiences from your parents that would affect you so deeply, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and energetically, that it would prompt you over and over and over again throughout your life to be able to explore and delve into and transform, and then on another deeper level, transmute that piece, opening you to your essence self, to your authentic self, to your true self. And when you delve even deeper, and this is where most of, I would definitely say my clients, but this is for old souls and lifelong seekers, spiritual seekers and practitioners and therapists and healers are often on a path of mastery, meaning that they have chosen specific subject matter that, or specific soul purposes rather, to kind of come to either a completion or to achieve another level of such mastery that we are then able to use the wider expanse of ourselves, wider view, wider abilities, because we're now channeling in, when we get to those levels of transmuting an aspect of our human experience, we are talking about opening up portals to other existences of us, and therefore can channel in that information, those skills, those abilities, and those energetics that are part of the new design of this earth in this evolutionary leap we're making and we're in process of. So the point is that your wounding is very, very specific, and your defense system that was created to protect you from feeling the depth of what was occurring over and over and over again created a distortion or a shift in perspective. It's kind of like a kaleidoscope. You just shift the kaleidoscope a little bit so that you can perceive it in a way that will allow you to live with it for years, because it's not like generally they change, the things around you change, parents, siblings, the world. So the defense system is created in such a way as to protect you. However, your soul is at the same time pushing and working with the universe to recreate that same set of circumstances, now with different players, spouses, bosses, the outer world, as a prompt, as a catalyst, as a spark to give you the opportunity to delve in. So I'm giving you that background because so often, or almost everyone, is reluctant to feel into the negatives of their parents. Some people have, but then it remains a negative. It remains something detrimental. It remains something too painful, too scary, too infuriating, too grief-ridden to look into. And that's a very 3D perspective, because that's assuming that just the wounding and what you experience with your parents is the end of it. And for me and this work, that is just the beginning. So my lifelong prayer and wish and everything that I bring to the table is to allow for shadow pieces to be revealed in their power and beauty and purposefulness and the exquisite part they play in your individual grand design and eventually in the grand design. Because as I said, when these pieces are transformed and transmuted, or even you reach a metamorphosis with them, you are then being here, all of you, being here wholly, WHOLEY, being here with access to your, what's sometimes referred to the Akash, or what I refer to as just your multi-existentiality, and bringing all of that in here. That is not to say that there is not massive levels of pain, fury, grief, and fear. But those are massive levels to a child, to your child within. And when we transform, transmute, metamorphosize these pieces, these wounds, they no longer have that level of fear over you. They no longer have that control. They no longer have that wall or barrier or confinement. You have the freedom to be. And so the sacredness of that child that experienced that terrible trauma or terrible abuse, or it may not even appear to be so blatantly terrible. However, subtleties can often, or subtle ways can often be more painful, especially for old souls who have been around, done that. They've done the grosser or more devastatingly, or devastating to the human child experience. There are variations on all of that, from, as I said, the most blatant, the most horrific, to that which is very, very subtle and can truly color who you feel you are for the rest of your life. It can be a state, it can be an attitude or a statement or a lack of so many different secure pieces of security that are needed, wanted, expected, and should be in the ideal part of that child's experience. So I'm sharing all of that because as much as different groups, races, sexual preference, even gender, male versus female, have, or the female rather, gender, has had such disenfranchisement, abuse of them in every single way. It is still children that are the most affected. The children are the ones with the least rights. They have no voice, they have no control, they have no power, and they are trapped in that situation. So, you know, really feeling for those little children, especially right now. These are masters of masters that are being born right now. They would have to be. You are, just by being here at this point in time, you are a very, very, very advanced soul to choose to come at this hugely disruptive, chaotic turmoil, kind of turning everything upside down and deconstructing and rebuilding an entire new earth, a new way for humans to be, transmuting those lower vibration and lower frequency and very primal and primeval aspects of human nature, so that we can move into the breadth and width of the technology and future life that we have the potential to be. So the children that are here now, I mean, think about it. Yes, being a child during any of the world wars in some of the other countries, there have been many wars since World War II, Korea, Vietnam, many, many others around the world. But right now, being a child with in this circumstance of COVID, and just prior to this, particularly in the United States, was so many major attacks by gunfire. And children are threatened all over the world. They, as I said, they have the least amount of protection in every way. So it really just struck to the depth of me. It's not like this hasn't been in the news up until now, but very, very particularly this morning with an article I read, and just the whole idea of what children are going through starting this school year. So the invitation today for you is to truly allow for the child within, who is still very alive and very present in all of us, unless we've done a massive amount of work and the child is now transformed into the adult you, which is what I was just referring to. And even so, there are always going to be pieces to explore further, deeper, to allow you to be wider. And so today I'm going to invite everyone, we're going to do a little bit of chanting, or I am going to try to, because I don't want to infringe on any copyright whatsoever. So we're going to be bringing in, there's several different mountain ranges. Interestingly enough, Vesuvius has been very, very present. And Kilauea, the island of Kilauea, the volcano, has been giving all kinds of signs. There have been hundreds of small earthquakes, which usually indicates another very large eruption. We'll see in the next few days whether that occurs. So both of those, that volcanic action, and again, we know that that's coming from way deep down within the earth, and a burst of this fiery energy and the movement and the shaking. When a volcano erupts, not only are those that are very near to the volcano affected, but the cloud of ash that is thrown into the air can affect our worldwide weather for months and months and months to come. Excuse me. So, not to mention, again, part of this was also the continuation of the fires out west, getting worse, the fires in Siberia that are larger than all the other fires combined. And we have another huge storm heading towards Louisiana that has been pummeled over and over and over again within the past year. And the water and the fire is churning and moving and allowing the earth to transform to the level that she has chosen to. But with our negative influence, it is becoming more extreme and more frequent. Large water events, storms, hurricanes, fires, etc. And just as we must tune into the children and feel them, not only from an adult's perspective, but to come down small at their level and really realize what the world feels like and sounds like and looks like and smells like to them. We all as children, and the children that are on our planet right now, from 0 to 8 have no filters over their little chakras. They begin to form, but they are not in place until approximately 8 years old, which means that anything coming at them, if it's someone hollering or a loud sound, it literally reverberates within their bodies, within their energy fields, which causes their whole little system to be hurt or shattered or shaken to the core. And creates the need to develop harder and harder shielding, harder and harder defenses, harder and harder armoring to withstand that, which causes the disconnect to self, to the earth, to their spiritual connections. And we end up as adults with those same difficulties. So I'm going to invite everyone to please, I'm going to light the candle and call in all of the helpers that we have with us today. And then I'm going to try to follow along with a beautiful, for me, the epitome of chanting is by Deva Pramal, and I will try to post one of her, or this video at the very least. And it's in the one I'll post is about 7 minutes long. I'm going to take 2 sections of this. And the first one, the wording is a little bit challenging. So if you can pick it up, wonderful. If you can't, just feel the energy. Allow your inner, the child within, allow the children that you know to feel this by simply receiving the transmission and transmitting yourself to them, to the children that you know, your children, nephews, nieces, grandchildren, whoever, and the children of the planet. So we're dedicating this today to the child within you and the children in our world. And I invite you to listen to the video that I'll post and utilize it when and as you can. I believe the one that I will post does have the lyrics. So you should be able to follow it by seeing the lyrics on the screen. And with the lighting of our candle, as always, we are inviting in those helpers that are specific to this practice today. As always, we have the divine masculine, the divine feminine. And when I'm calling in the divine feminine, I'm usually calling in various beings, deities. So let's back up for 1 second, and I really invite you to find your seat. I really invite you to find your sits bones so that you can drop and settle into your body, letting your skeletal structure take over so that you don't have to hold yourself up, hold yourself back in any way. And simply allow for the energetics, excuse me, to be received and to move you physically, energetically, emotionally, spiritually. And I find it always helps when I invite clients to say to themselves or out loud, I am asking and I am allowing my energy field. I am asking and I am allowing my wider self. I am asking and I am allowing my guides and teachers and masters. And we are calling in and calling upon the divine masculine. And for me, I always feel Michael holding that space, and the divine feminine, Mother Mary, Tara, Kuan Yin, Sophia, Amma, the Great Mother. I'm calling in and calling upon Francis, Saint Francis, who so clearly felt that divinity and tenderness and compassion and caring for every creature. And of course, particularly the little children. So just really allowing yourself to let go. Simply sit, simply sensate, simply allow. The wisdom of your wider self, your energy field, your guides, teachers, and masters, a little bit more expanded than you, to say the least. And they are here for you, on your behalf, always assisting and guiding you to your highest and best. Always there to enable you to feel the security, the profound security of accompaniment, of watching out for you, watching over you, watching you, celebrating you, guiding you whenever you ask, for they will not intrude, control, overpower, but instead wait upon you to call for help, to call for guidance, to call for opportunities, to call for validation, confirmation. Going to also call in Lady Gaia, this beautiful, beautiful planet we so often take for granted in all of its complexity and sophistication and abundance. There is plenty of everything for everyone on this planet, human, animal, critters of all kinds. When and as we share, when and as we cooperate and collaborate. Excuse me. We are also calling in and calling upon Mount Vesuvius, Kilauea, and our many cosmic helpers. Certain planets that represent and or engender specific qualities. And I'm also going to call in and call upon the astounding scientific discoveries and breakthroughs of recent within a wide variety of disciplines. Mentioned some of them throughout this month. I will try to continue to post them. Let that all be in our container today. This exquisitely arranged and designed geometric configuration for this moment in time, for the particular challenges and as well as the bounty of this earth, our individual, social, political, education, medical challenges, personally, collectively, all is in the mix. For it takes that diversity and polarities to create the alchemical solution or resolution, resolution, which is why, as I mentioned earlier, our childhood traumas and challenges or woundings are so very much a part of our soul's design. So you may feel yourself getting a little sleepy. You may feel the edges of you getting blurred. You may feel some movement internally, either physically or energetically. Simply allow your brain to take a rest. I continue to speak so you know that I am here, and it is through my voice that is being transmitted the exact right energetics for you at this time, whether you're listening now live or at some future point. For time and space are only confining, limited, and linear in this dimension. We are allowing to come in and be transmitted energetics from beyond this dimension, beyond this plane of existence, beyond this human experience. So I invite you just to continue to soften and allow, allow, allow. Nothing you need do. And this chant that I'm bringing forth is for the children and also a rain of blessings down upon you. I'm going to try to allow a little bit to be heard. And again, no worries with having to know the words or follow the words. Just allow yourself to be a conduit for not only the child within you, but for children all around the world. Kushalodaya Namaha. Om Kumara 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 Kushalodaya Namaha.
This is for the children. It actually says blessings to the Divine Mother who brings blessings to the children. Om Kumara Kushalo Dayaye Namaha. Om Kumara Kushalo
Om Kumara Kushalo Yaya Namaha.
Om Kumara
Kushalo Dayaye Namaha. Om Kumara Kushalo Dayaye Namaha. Kumara Kushalo Dayaye Namaha. Om Kumara Kushalo Dayaye Namaha. Kumara Kushalo Dayaye Namaha. Om 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 Kumara Kushalo Dayaye Namaha. Kushalo Dayaye Namaha. Om Kumara 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 Kushalo Dayaye Namaha. Kushalo Dayaye Namaha. Om Kumara 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 Kushalo Dayaye Namaha.
Raise in our arms as we sing for our children.
Om Kumara Kushalo Dayaye Namaha. 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 Allow yourself to sink even deeper. Nothing you need to. Allow the depths within you to receive, take in, drink deeply. Ever more deeply to drop within you. No work, no effort, no push, no do. Your system knows exactly what to do to bring you to the very depths of your receptivity. Simply allow, simply be. You're surrounded, enveloped, enwrapped in this blanket. And simply receive, simply allow. Take another minute or so to sensate this enwrappment, this envelopment, this enfolding of you within this beautiful, tender, blessing energy. It's imprinting deeply within you so that at any time you choose, you can feel once again the cradling blanket of care, of blessing, of honoring, to you, for you, from you, to your inner child, or rather the child within, to you, for you, from you, to children you know and children you don't know, but moreover, to you, for you, from the divine beings present here with us today. And as your system is physicalizing or physicalizing all that you experience energetically, allow your energy field and your wider self to guide you, lead you, bring you back to this plane of existence in your own individual way. Do not force it, do not push, do not decide with your mind how that must be or at what speed or form. Trust your energy field and your wider self. They know exactly what is best for you. Allow them to lead you. For it is in that in between, that passage from the less physical to the more physical reality, that so often symbols, sounds, shapes, images will come in as a gift to you on your journey. And I invite you to listen to the energetic practice of today over and over and over again to deepen and sink in ever more to that envelopment and wrapping and embrace. For we all could use that, and certainly the within, right? The child within, your being within. And heads up for next week, Friday as usual. However, my sense is that there's going to be some shorter, either deep dives or at least an update on what's going on. So please make sure and put your setting to receive all notifications. If you haven't already, for the Applied Universal Alchemy. And I'll also try to keep you updated as to when something is occurring on my personal page if you are not already connected to me there. In the meantime, I wish you a wonderful weekend. And as always, oops, as always, it is with deepest of honor, gratitude, and love for you and your presence here on the planet. Be well.